Tonight from PNC Park, it's the middle game of the three-game series between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds. And yeah, the Bucks have been raising it a lot lately. They have won 5 in a row, 7 of 8, 9 of their last 12. They beat the Reds last night. Greg Brown along with Steve Blass and Robbie Ince-Mikowski. And Steve, last night the Pirates offense just continued to roll, get just enough, including Josh Harrison's home run, his first home run of the year. He has been red hot.
He really has. You know, home runs come occasionally, but Josh Harrison brings action every night, all night long. Getting on the base pass with base hits, walks, forcing the defense to make mistakes. I mean, he's there every night, and he is. We're not even talking about the energy level. So he's been fun to watch. He doesn't need to hit a lot of home runs to be a really positive factor for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
He's batting .429 during this 8-game stretch. On the mound tonight for the Pirates, lefty Francisco Liriano, and he's going to be opposed by right-hander who is really struggling, Alfredo Simon.
Yeah, and Francisco was very, very good opening day. He's been struggling a little bit himself since that opening day, but it has been a rough trip for Simon. Look at those numbers against the Cubs. So it should be an opportunity for the Pirates to put some runs up on the board again. Maybe we can get that action that we had on the last road trip and score a bunch of runs against the Cincinnati Reds tonight. They'll have chances.
Simon has not made it past the 3rd inning in his last 4 starts. The Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds going to play ball tonight on a fireworks night, and they look to keep blasting away against the Redlegs coming up next. Well, the Pirates are getting ready. Their pregame rituals. Josh Harrison leading the way, and as you know, if you're in the area, the forecast was not good. One game was rained out earlier today in Chicago. Let's go downstairs to Robbie with more on the weather.
Yeah, Greg, it's coming down, and it's coming down pretty steady. And in talking to members of the National Weather Service here, along with the umpires, umpiring crew and Pirates operations officials here at the ballpark, that's the forecast for the remainder of the night. However, it is going to be a slow and steady rain throughout the rest of the evening. And they're going to try to play through it as long as the playing conditions are safe for the players and obviously the safety of the fans if it remains that way. So don't expect any delays here. As long as this rain remains the way it is, Greg, this is what we're going to be dealing with the entire night from the first pitch to the last.
It's interesting too, Robbie and Steve, because oftentimes, if there is a rain as steady as this, they will not start a ball game. They'll wait until the weather clears, but because the forecast is so dismal for the rest of the night and even tomorrow, they really have to try and play this one.
Yeah, absolutely. The radar is not very favorable. A lot of green around the Pittsburgh area and continuing to come in from the west as it always does. So they're going to try to do it. And yeah, you can play under these conditions, but you wonder about the accumulation as we go on, like the 6th, 7th, 8th inning. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, hope for the best, and we'll also hope for the Pirates to get an early lead just in case.
That's Ted Barrett. He is the crew chief. He'll be at second base. And Francisco Liriano heads out to the mound. Liriano making his 5th start of the season, and no stranger to the Cincinnati Reds, having gone 1-5 in 13 career regular season starts. But of course, the highlight of his Pirates career, that big win wild card game October 1st, 2013. Check out the Honda lineup that he will face. Brian Price's Reds have lost 5 in a row. Zach Cozart leads off. Then it's Eugenio Suarez and Joey Votto. Brandon Phillips is a .306 career hitter against Liriano, and he'll bat cleanup. Adam Duvall in left, Jay Bruce in right, Tucker Barnhart, the switch hitting catcher, and Brian Price bats his pitcher 8th with Billy Hamilton hitting 9th.
Well, we talk about Liriano making his 5th start. Hyundai will bring you his numbers. So far, his opening day start here was very, very good. He always has pitched well at PNC Park. However, his last 3 starts have been on the road, and in a total of 15 innings, he's given up 11 earned runs. So it has been a struggle since his very, very good work on opening day.
Check out the defense behind him. Honda defense, Josh Harrison at second base. John Jaso, his partner on the right side. David Freese, Jordy Mercer on the left. Marte McCutcheon Polanco on the outfield left to right. And Francisco Cervelli behind the plate. Cincinnati native David Freese has been filling in and doing a great job at third base. Start of the season with Jung Ho Gung on the disabled list. A real good steadying influence on the left side, along with Jordy Mercer, who has been really outstanding with the glove and with the bat this season. I guess you could say that about any of the Pirates, the way they've been hitting. Top hitting team in Major League Baseball. Now, Liriano, his last start on Sunday against the Diamondbacks.
Not great. 6
not
innings,
great.
4 earned runs, he walked 3. Control has been an issue, so there's a good start. And for Liriano, I think one of the big things is getting people consistently to chase his deliveries downstairs. If they lay off that downstairs delivery, it forces him up, and you know, when any pitcher elevates, then he becomes somewhat vulnerable.
1 ball, 1 strike on Cozart. .373 batting average for Zach Cozart, the shortstop. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. He finds his name among the league leaders. He's 3rd in the National League in batting. Ledymus Diaz of the St. Louis Cardinals is hitting .420. Martin Prado of the Marlins, and then Cozart. And bounce toward the shortstop. This will be 1 out. 1 batter down. Rivers Casino tips to win now.
Liriano control. He's thrown 21 innings. He's walked 17. He's got to get better with his control. You want to keep Billy Hamilton down. He's off to a really struggling start, and if you keep him down, you keep him off the base pass, you eliminate that speed, and you take away one of your huge problems against the Reds.
Fouled back. Ray Searage staying dry underneath that area.
They've taken his writing table away, but he still finds a way to use it. That's being resourceful. One of the things about Liriano that you've seen over the years, when he gets into these wild streaks, and it just goes for a period of time. So you want him out in front, throwing a lot of strikes early. Don't get into that situation where you've got to catch up with your strikes.
He helping Chris Serkach, huh?
Yeah, he does it all. He does it all.
Pre-game ceremonies. This is in the air to right field, and Polanco should make the play in right center for the second out. Well, one thing that was really encouraging about Liriano's last start on Sunday, he was shaky through the first 3 innings in Phoenix. But then the Pirates went to work offensively. They sent 10 men to the plate in the top of the 4th inning. And Liriano looked like a different person in the bottom of the 4th. He retired 10 of the last 11 batters he faced. He struck out 4 hitters in the last 3 innings. He said that he just got the feel back.
Sometimes it can be as simple as that. You just feel better. And interesting, you and I had a conversation with Chris Welch, the TV man for the Cincinnati Reds, telling us that against Joey Votto, there have been a lot of deliveries. They're trying to crowd him inside, but there he picks up the outside corner very nicely. So we'll see if that approach is something that Liriano takes against Joey Votto.
Well, Votto is a 192 career hitter, so don't change a thing. Whatever Liriano has been doing. Now a 2-1 count on Joey Votto. Liriano thought that was good. That breaking ball was going to be way in. It started to break across the plate. Votto asking what the count is, apparently. 2-1. Liriano, his record is 1-1. The Pirates have won 3 of his 4 starts.
And a breaking ball that actually Francisco gets a strike but gets away with. That ball was upstairs. And good news, Votto didn't want any part of it.
2-2.
There's the pitch that you want to see them chase all night long. That breaking ball when he's in a 2-strike situation, it's tough to lay off. Votto does just at the last moment.
Three-2. Hit hard, but at Harrison, he kept the ball in front of him, scrambles, but he can't recover. Had he picked the ball up initially off the ground, he had a good chance to get Votto. They're going to give him an error.
Yep, 2 shots at it. The initial opportunity doesn't work off the heel of the glove, and then the pursuit, as you say, was going to be in time because the ball was hit that hard, but went down with the glove instead of the hand.
Good look here. If he gets, and he bare hands it right now, he's got him.
Yep. That's what you tell all the young players. Go after that ball with a bare hand in that situation.
4th error of the season charged to Harrison, and it brings up Brandon Phillips.
Francisco dealing with a muddy mound, if you will. Got the foul ball from Phillips, but trying to figure out where he's going to be landing and how that front foot will act when he steps toward home plate. It's kind of an awkward finish for Francisco.
Oh, 1-2 on Brandon Phillips. Liriano, the Bucks have won each of his last 12 starts here at PNC Park. And a look at the mound conditions. Only one other pitcher since the end of World War II has had a longer home winning streak for the Pirates. That was Vernon Law, a 16-game home winning streak. And it's still 0-2 on Brandon Phillips.
That's pretty darn impressive. You know, just keep winning at home.
Our barrel leaders in home wins consecutively in Pittsburgh Pirates history since 1945. Vernon Law, 16 games from June of '59 to June of '60. Bruce Keeson, Bob Walk, and Jerry Royce, 11 gamers.
Good to see Walkie on that list.
Yeah. And just barely stays alive. Phillips getting a piece of it.
Yep, and not getting a piece of Francisco Cervelli.
Allegheny Health Network Super Mo. There's Bob Walk, that 11-game home win streak from 87 through 88, those seasons. One and two. Brandon Phillips just returned to the lineup last night. Hadn't played since Monday when he is hit on the hand by a Noah Syndergaard pitch for the New York Mets.
And Phillips and Votto kind of holding the fort. This is a Cincinnati team that a lot of people expect to struggle. There's no guarantees, certainly.
Well, they have lost 5 in a row now. And after getting off to a pretty decent start, surprising 5-1 start, they've dropped 13 of their last 17 games, and they are 1-9 on the road so far this season. And that's up the middle. So the inning continues, and of course Liriano has to throw more pitches as Joey Votto reached on the air.
And that's center cut for a good major league hitter to take a cut at. He gets it into center field. By the way, it has been a steady drizzle now for more than an hour, so keep note too that the outfielders are going to be picking up a wet baseball in terms of trying to make throws.
Here is Adam Duvall. See, his number is 18 games on the year. Duvall did not play last night. And takes a strike.
They consider the fact that the Reds have lost Aroldis Chapman. Frazier's gone. Votto and Phillips, the recognizable names, and along with some others, but could be a trying year for the Reds.
One ball, one strike.
Well, you're right. You're getting into that 20-plus pitch range as Liriano works here in the first inning. Retired the first 2 in a row, then the error, now the base hit. Ray looking for answers.
Oh, nice pick by Cervelli. That could have put runners at third and second.
Well, this is part of Liriano's game. Not that far out in front of home plate, but he works downstairs a lot, and he needs them to swing at it. Not going to get many swings on that pitch.
2-1 now. And in the air to center. So a few more pitches, but a 0 in the top of the first for Francisco Liriano. As we go to the bottom of the first inning, John Jaso going to lead things off. Check out the Pirates starting lineup brought to you by Toyota. Andrew McCutchen will follow Jaso. Then it's David Freese and Starling Marte with Francisco Cervelli in the 5 hole. Gregory Polanco, Josh Harris, and Jordy Mercer. And hot-hitting Francisco Liriano, starting 9.
And the veteran right-hander Alfredo Simon, and they hooked up back in April. Simon pitched well in that ball game. 5 innings, just 1 earned run given up, but he has had bad fortune since then. Look at the ERA, 16.39. I mean, that's wild. 4th start of the year. He actually has done some good work against the Pittsburgh Pirates. If you go back to last year on the 15th of April, won a 1-0 game when he threw 8 shutout innings against the Bucks. 4-5 overall against Pittsburgh.
Jaso drives one deep to right field. First pitch swinging, and first home run as a bucko for John Jaso.
Well, how about that? You want some energy. You know, the rain has really quieted everything down, but one pitch and the miseries continue for Alfredo Simon. Wow, at the right center field, nothing cheap about that one. John goes deep.
Fifth home run allowed by Simon. Jaso, who hit 5 home runs with Tampa Bay last year in 70 games, hits his first Pirate dinger.
And there's very little wind. He did that all by himself. Looked like looking for a pitch. He got it, buried it. Worth another look for sure. Plenty of distance. He has a reputation of working the pitchers a lot, but he didn't wait around on that one. See something you like, go get it. That'll answer some of those things. Hey, you got to extend at bats, you got to have long at bats. If you see something you like, it's a perfect example.
Still 1-2 now on Andrew McCutchen. John Jaso, 5 home runs last year for Tampa Bay in 70 games. His high water mark 10 with the Mariners in 2012.
There's a ball that's ripped. I'll tell you, both balls that have been hit, the home run in that one.
Up there swinging against Alfredo Simon. I mistakenly mentioned that he hadn't gotten out of the 3rd inning in his starts. That's not the case, of course, because his first start was against the Pirates. 5 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned, 5 hits on April the 8th. The Pirates' first road trip took them to Cincinnati. This is going to be out of play. But in his 2 starts since, and he's also made 1 appearance in the bullpen, Simon hasn't gotten out of the 3rd.
Who was it that really beat him up? The Cubs in that game?
Shortest start of his career, 2/3 of an inning. 5 runs, 4 hits. And he made a relief appearance against the Cardinals on the 15th, and last time out against the Cubs again. Struggled. 2 2/3, 8 runs, 10 hits.
That's the bomber. Well, they signed him in the middle of March. He had been without a job, and we're hearing reports maybe a little injury issue in terms of tendonitis.
And their notes mention that he's been bothered by right biceps tendonitis, an injury that led to his shortest start of his career. Of course, Steve, when pitchers who've had success in the past, and Simon is a guy who made the All-Star team a couple years ago, really struggle, you'll hear that a lot.
Oh yeah,
not healthy.
Yep,
and that may be true.
Yep, yeah. You always wonder about that. Last year, 13 wins with Detroit.
Yeah, and there also was a reason why he wasn't with a job until later.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
he has the kind of resume that you would think after 13 wins.
March 17th, he was signed by the Reds. Didn't have a job. 34 years old.
Yeah. You win 13 games, you're going to have a job the next year. I mean, you had a high ERA, but still 13 wins is 13 wins.
They traded Simon, did these Reds, to the Tigers to get Eugenio Suarez December of 2014. And McCutchen is caught looking. And so Hernandez rings him up.
Not real happy about it. At the top of the strike zone, Simon gets the call.
See Barnhart catch this kind of uncomfortably, and yet it was a strike. Angel Hernandez brings him up. 10-pitch at bat.
Usually the glove goes the other way when you're trying to buy a call. This one went away from the strike zone.
95, nothing wrong with the velocity there. Alfredo Simon won 15 games for the Reds 2 years ago. There's always a concern, question about whether he could handle the workload as a starter, because he had been a reliever with the Orioles for most of his 4-year career in Baltimore. And then they made a transition, the Birds did, in 2011. Made 16 starts, the most he had made in professional baseball since 2008 when he was pitching in Mexico. So that was a bit of a workload, and then went back to the bullpen his first 2 years with the Reds. 36 appearances in 2012, 63 relief outings in 2013.
But again, last year, you've got 25 decisions. You're doing a lot of pitching. So I'm stunned by the fact he didn't have a job. People must have thought he was hurt.
32 starts that year with the Reds after all those relief appearances. 15-10, 3.44 ERA, made the All-Star team for the first time. Santiago, Dominican Republic. He will turn 35 in a little over a week. And after walking David Freese, he faces Starling Marte.
I can tell you one thing, if you're going out to start a ball game and you've got an ERA over 16, you are not going out there with a lot of confidence. I mean, you're just hoping that you can figure something out. I mean, that's the way it is.
Sound like Bruce Hornsby, Steve.
That's just the way it is. That's right. Bruce Hornsby in the
Some
range.
things will never change. 1 ball, 1 strike on Marte. This is one guy that has really hit Simon over the years. Marte 357 in his career against the Reds righty. Two and one.
Good pick by Barnhart. We were talking to Chris Welsh again about Mesoraco, Devin Mesoraco, and his miseries with his hip surgery, and now the other hip is bothering him. He's not on the DL, but really just almost not able to play currently.
Shoulder issues for him now too, for Mesoraco. 2-1 the count. 2-2 on Marte. Well, Simon, they're not going to keep him in the rotation if he doesn't start to turn things around, because as miserable as it seems for the Reds, they do have the likes of Anthony DeSclafani returning soon. He's down rehabbing in the minors, and Homer Bailey, supposedly one more rehab, should be ready to join the rotation. Then they've got Raciel Iglesias and Brandon Finnegan, so down to maybe one spot in a couple weeks to fill out the rotation. Simon, John Lamb could replace him. Bounced toward third, foul. Dan Straley pitched well last night. I think Brian Price was pleased with Straley. 6 innings, couple of runs, 5 hits. Gave them a chance.
So that could be a big comeback for my brother-in-law, John Lamb.
I know. I was thinking. I saw that earlier today. I wonder what Steve thinks. When John Lamb does get to the big leagues, you've got to.
Oh, we're going to have a good talk. Yeah.
Talk to him.
My wife's brother, John Lamb, pitched for the Pirates 70, 71, a little bit in 73. actually got a save for me.
What do they call that rotation with Bob Veal and John Lamb?
The mixed veal. Yeah. Moose, veal, and lamb.
Oh, that's right. Moose, veal, and lamb. That is great.
Mixed grill.
The mixed grill rotation. 2-2, and you see 21 pitches now as Simon exhales. Trying to get out of this after giving up the leadoff homer, the first pitch to John Jaso, and even though he struck out McCutchen, it was a 10-pitch at bat. Walked, freeze, and this is just the Pirate way these days. Extended at bats. Really work these pitchers, and now it's 3-2. And as Steve said, it doesn't mean that they're up there taking. It means that when they see the pitch they want, they take a rip at it. But they have the best on-base percentage in Major League Baseball, 377, while hitting 293.
Now 7 walks and 9+ innings for Simon.
Strikes out Marte on the 3-2 pitch. Got him with a fastball.
This is the confounding thing about a guy like Simon, who is struggling mightily, but you've known what he's been capable of doing in the past, and all of a sudden he throws a pitch like that and you say, yeah, it's in there somewhere. It's just not happening a lot for him. So you can't assume anything. You can assume you're going to have opportunities that he's going to struggle, but every once in a while he'll show you why he's still here.
And that success he's had over the Pirates. Pretty decent numbers at 3.46 career ERA and 21 outings against the Bucks.
Yeah, I remember that gem last year that he pitched here in Pittsburgh. 8 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. Just dominated the Pirates.
He's a big man, listed at 6'6", 267. As he faces Cervelli, 1-1. Cervelli 0 for 12 in his career against Alfredo Simon. How about that? 0 for 12. Not many pitchers in all of baseball could boast those numbers against this guy. Cervelli against Alfredo. No relation to the former Pirate Randall.
I keep thinking of that also. But you might think, well, he's out there thinking, okay, I own Francisco Cervelli. Well, he's not thinking that way these days.
2-1.
You may get him, but you're going to have to earn it.
Cervelli was 0 for 2 last night with a couple of walks. And his t-shirt, that's Amore t-shirts given away last night. Fun crowd.
They love their catcher here.
Yeah, they do.
Love their catcher.
Two and 2 outs. And tough to stay dry out there right now, so taking a little bit more time. Steve, what about as a pitcher? You talked about the outfielders, the ball can slip. What about how tough it is to get a good grip on these balls, right?
Yep. Yep. Of course, they have the opportunity to rub them up and that sort of thing, but still, it doesn't have the same. It doesn't have the same feel. You've got to be very conscientious about taking care of the baseball, because you're the one that can do it before it's hit.
3-2, another full count, and 29th pitch of this inning. Gonna do another one here to number 29. A freeze off on the pitch with 2 outs. If Cervelli reaches, Gregory Polanco will get a chance.
Let's see, 9 innings times 30 pitches. If he goes all the way tonight, Simon will have, what, 270 pitches?
Not going to happen. You and I watched the guy who was pitching a no-hitter get lifted.
Incredible.
The Marlins.
I haven't gotten over that.
Ball 4.
On we go. Look at this piece. A home run, a strikeout, a walk, a strikeout, a walk. I mean, just totally disjointed for Simon.
Lays off a tough pitch.
Now he'll match his number, throwing number 31.
By the way, Don Mattingly, the Marlins manager, said it was an easy decision to pull Adam Conley last night after 116 pitches, despite the fact that he had not allowed a hit in 7 2/3 innings.
He may never be in that situation again, that young man. I understand it, but it's the sign of the times. Easy. It wasn't a tough decision with a no-hitter. Come on, Don. A no-hitter with 1 out in the 8th inning.
Gregory Polanco takes a strike.
Was it 1 out or 2 outs? 8 1/3. 8 1/3.
7 1/3.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 7 1/3. 7 1/3 in the 8th inning. But that's the life we've chosen.
That's right. And now another pitch in the dirt, and this one gets away. I mean, Simon, you're wondering about the grip. How many pitches he has thrown in the dirt already of the 32.
That ball bouncing in front of home plate.
Second and third. Freeze, who walked, moves to third, and Cervelli walked. He moves to second. Really tough to keep your wits about you, would think, if you're Simon, and those numbers coming into this game. Trying to keep it all together.
Yep. And Brian Price, a former pitching coach, is looking out at a guy. He knows what's happening. I mean, it's obvious to everybody what's happening, but he's the manager that has to consider how much of this he can watch. You want to give Simon every chance to get himself together, get his act together.
And he got under it,
yep.
And so Simon's going to get out of it. Phillips makes the catch. The first pitch of this long inning, however, belonged to John Jaso. His first home run as a Pittsburgh Pirate gives the Bucks an early lead.
Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All, and by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
1-0 Bucks, and on to the second here at PNC Park. Middle game of this 3-game series. Cubs are in town for 3, starting on Monday night. Jay Bruce leads off against Liriano. Gave up a hit. Another man reached on an error. First pitch strike to Jay Bruce. John Jaso's home run, jumping on the first pitch.
You know, we saw some replays of that home run. That wasn't a swing, that was just a contact looking to hit a line drive. I mean, he sold out to that swing, and it's going to be all or nothing, and it was all. One of those times you could see, I mean, that was the whole body involved in that swing.
1-2.
Always good
Susie
defense.
Cool.
Yep, always good
Well done.
defense. This is also one of those concentration games, Greg, where if you're playing, you've got to sell yourself out to playing in this miserable condition kind of thing. You got to say, okay, yeah, it's raining, it's not nice, it's not fun, but somebody's going to win this baseball game. So you got to acknowledge it and get on the other side of it and say, all right, we'll grind this thing out and see if we can sneak away into a rather damp night with a W. It gets to be a mental thing to some extent. Watch out. Up the seats.
Bruce had a hit last night. Just back from 3 days away. Was on the paternity list. And his wife celebrated the birth of their first child. 2-2. And the first strikeout for Francisco Liriano.
There's the chase downstairs on the breaking ball. Down and away. Continuing to go away. That's a tough pitch to hit. Good pitch to throw. Always good to get on the other side of that kind of power that Bruce has.
Switch hitting catcher Tucker Barnhart. Barnhart had a hit and 4 trips to the plate in last night's ball game. His double off Andrew McCutson's glove in the 9th inning ended the shutout bid for the Pirates and forced Clint Hurdle to bring in Mark Melanson for a 1-out save. Melanson's 6th. Yeah, McCutson thought he had it. Got back to the warning track, glanced off his glove for a double.
That's a big glove. That's that old that model used to be called the trapeze model. Instead of the standard type of webbing, has that kind of middle section.
96 from Liriano. That as high as we've seen certainly this year.
Is it oversimplifying to say when he throws strikes, he wins?
Well, I think Stevens has a little doubt that if he throws enough strikes,
yeah, I mean,
he seems to, and then he'll get those chases on that slider. A good sharp breaking slider.
I mean, his stuff is so good. It's a very adequate fastball, and then to have the 2 off-speed pitches, the slider and then the changeup. I mean, that's quite a package. That's a lot of talent on the pitcher's plate.
In his 4th year with the Pirates, Francisco Liriano. Fastball to Barnhart.
Francisco looking for career win number 90.
This should be a good team, by the way, for Liriano. The Reds have walked the fewest times in Major League Baseball, so anything near the plate, they usually swing. Freeze. 2 outs. And that will bring up Alfredo Simon. Use your Port Authority Connect card to save big on Pirates tickets for this season. Save up to $8 per ticket on select Sunday through Thursday home games here at PNC Park. Connect and save with the Port Authority Connect card. Get your tickets at pirates.com/Connect card. Everybody trying to stay as dry as they can. And here is the pitcher, 0 for 4 this season. Play 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt. Alfredo Simon. the American League for a number of years. Picked up his first big league hit against the Pirates. Justin Wilson. Back in April of 2013. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Career 107 average for Simon.
I'm to dispose of him right now.
Tried to with a fastball. Liriano with 24 strikeouts. He has walked 17 on the season. There you go. And a 1-2-3 second. On this week's episode, Starling Marte cranks up the radar guns. Plus, everybody loves a good blooper reel. So we're bringing you the best of our spring training outtakes. Inside Pirates Baseball presented by Allegheny Health Network tonight after postgame on Root Sports. Here is Josh Harrison, the UPMC scoreboard. Pirates got the home run from John Jaso. They got a home run from Jay Hay last night, his first of the year. He has an 8-game hitting streak. The home run came in the 4th. Gave the Bucks a 2-0 lead. They went on to win 4-1. Harrison, Mercer, Liriano facing Simon. It's been a while since Jay Hay's last home run. Going back to last year, May the 15th, and the longest active streaks: Emmanuel Burris, Jamal Wilkes, Brian Pena, Cesar Hernandez, and Craig Gentry. Josh Harrison's ended at 379. That's fouled off. Jay Hay was asked about it after the game, and this is a guy who's not going to hit a ton of homers, though 2014, his All-Star year, hit 13 of them. But he said he knew it had been a while because he'd gotten hurt last summer, and he didn't hit any after his return. He had a total of 4 in 2015.
But he brings so much more than just the ability to hit a home run. It's just his whole package is so good.
Chop towards short. Cozart had to do everything right there because of Josh Harrison's hustle down the line.
You're talking about the promo for Inside Pirates, but is there anybody in the universe that doesn't like to watch bloopers?
No, everybody loves the blooper.
Especially when you know the ball players have such professional outlooks, and they have their game face on, and you don't you don't see those real moments of humor and comedy where they make a mistake or they lose it for some reason. It is really fun to watch.
Yeah.
It is.
Baseball
humanizes them, I guess.
It presents so many opportunities for bloopers. There's so many games. There's a lot of downtime.
Yep. I'm glad they don't do them up in the booth.
No.
It would be a 7-year
reality
series.
There is a blooper reel in the truck that they will never show, thankfully. They get a kick out of it every year.
Yeah, we'll pay good money for them not to.
They showed it at their Christmas party, and 1-2 the count on Mercer, a 6-game hitting streak for him. He was 2 out of 3, scored a couple of runs last night.
Just so great to see him off to this kind of start.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Not a lot of 8 hitters in baseball that hitting over 300. It is now a 3-2 count. Simon walked a pair, uncorked a wild pitch in the first. Left side again, this time the third baseman on the short hop, Suarez. We have some Point Park University tweets talking about the weather. Steel City Nation, let's go Bucks, rain or shine, it's game time. Refuse to let a little rain keep me from coming to tonight's Pirates game. Let's go Bucks. Under an umbrella, but enjoying a date night. Again, hashtag let's go Bucks.
Probably not even needing any advice about that date from Cervelli.
That'd be a good one, though. It's raining.
Yep.
Date night at the ball game. What should I do?
Get an umbrella. Keep the date.
Here is Liriano, 4 for 10 at the plate.
The ambassador of Amore.
Liriano toward right center field. Oh, great catch by Bruce. He got a tremendous jump, and of course wasn't playing deep at all against Liriano, who put a charge into that one. At PNC Park as we go to the third against the Cincinnati Reds. This day automotive, this day in baseball history, this date 1980. The Bucks beat the Expos 5-0. Jim Bibby, complete game shutout, gave up just 6 hits as he improved to 3-0 in the season. Birthday for Phil Garner. He was the star in offense at 2 homers and drove in 3, celebrating his 31st birthday on this date, April 30th, 1980. That was ironic that Jim Bibby would have the complete game shutout because it came the day the Pirates announced that Bert Blyleven had left the team.
Yeah.
He was unhappy with the way Chuck Tanner was managing him. Wasn't getting enough starts, wasn't getting enough complete games. So he left the team for about 10 days, wanted to be traded. He would come back and finish the rest of the year, and then the Pirates accommodated him by trading him to the Cleveland Indians that winter. Blyleven spent 3 years with the Pirates.
He just got up and left.
Yep, he went home, be with his wife and family in California. Said he didn't have anything personally against Chuck Tanner, but he didn't think that he was being managed properly. Said he had a lot of personal goals. Shutouts are important to me, he was quoted as saying. Complete games are important to me. Ground ball right to third. Billy Hamilton, great to keep him off the bases. Such a key to try and beat these Reds.
Keep that speed away from the base pass. Exactly right. One of our tips to win, our Rivers Casino tips to win. You know, before we talk about Kozar, I want to go back to that bottom of the second inning, because you don't want to let Simon get into any kind of role, because you know what he's capable of. He's been struggling mightily, but you know, he's got the background that you know he's capable of doing some things. So he had 3 up, 3 down, and you hope that's not a turning point, if you will. You can't put that kind of label on 1/2 inning, but when you get a chance, you want to see if you can bury him.
He is at the 46 pitch mark.
Yeah, so it's not going to be an extended roll if he gets on one.
Kozar, a 1-1 count. He bounced to short in the first. He was the first batter of the ball game, and now 1-2. Off-speed pitch from Liriano, who has struck out a pair. He sent along a happy birthday wish to Fred Vrabel from Portage, PA. Happy 90th, Fred. And down on strikes, third K. Fred Vrabel, loyal, lifelong Pirates fan, going back to Forbes Field days. Another look at the strikeout.
Speaking of birthdays, our good friend Pete Toma.
He is a good friend. He's also our director, though Andy Costco is directing tonight for us. But yeah, Pete celebrating a birthday.
Yeah, kind of a Renaissance man, you know, cosmopolitan, kind of have that, he has that European flair, you know, with the style and the way
he's very stylish.
Yeah. So you wonder, you know, he's seen so much, he's experienced so much. You wonder, not being jaded, but you wonder what challenges, what mountains he wants to climb.
I would say
the
probably running the Pittsburgh Marathon tomorrow is a good challenge.
Yeah. Well, how many miles is that?
For Pete?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's not going to do the whole. He's just the half.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
then why do it? I mean,
well, I mean, there's a look at Pete's course tomorrow. He'll
up and down
go to
the
the
side
Clemente
of the
Bridge,
river,
then go around the convention center and come back.
I see.
No. 2-1. No, he's been training for that half marathon. He and his wife Susie, and they'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Happy birthday to Pete. As stylish a guy as you can find. Some stylish deliveries by Mr. Liriano right now.
I understand Tyler Graham also going to be running the marathon. Our AD, is he going to run the full marathon tomorrow? Half.
I would think.
2-2, look out. But there's the shortstop, and Harrison can't find the handle. Oh, a shot past Liriano. And Suarez will get credit for a hard hit single off of Harrison's glove.
Good news that it missed Francisco, and then I thought we had a chance with Josh. That yeah, that is so close. So close. See Josh on the shortstop side of second base. That's a tough play. He's got to go over there. He's seeing how close it comes to his pitcher. Oh. Josh having trouble getting the glove around the baseball a couple of times.
And ball one on Joey Votto.
That would have been a very much above average play.
One and one on Joey Votto. By the way, also one of our favorite baseball people of all time, Ray Miller, celebrating a birthday today. Long-time Pirates pitching coach and a former manager of the Twins and Orioles. Mundo
Good man.
Yeah.
Good friend.
In the air to left. And Marte makes the catch. It's 3 scoreless for Francisco Liriano, 1-0 Pittsburgh. Browns crew going to work. Going to be a long night for those guys. We're in the 3rd inning and trying to keep these conditions up to par as best as they can. John Jaso will be leading things off. He led off the bottom of the 1st inning and clubbed his first Pirate home run. First pitch.
Yeah, watch his swing. He put everything into it.
What a nice addition he has been to this club, huh?
Absolutely.
Wondering what the Pirates were going to do at first base. Here they were signing a guy who had spent his entire career as a catcher slash first base DH. And played, 5 total innings at the first base position, but worked so hard in spring training.
Well, he has not looked back. Did a visit with Nick Leva. We're going to play on the pregame show on the radio side tomorrow. And he talked to Nick talked about Jaso and initial impressions when they had the mini camp. Liked what he saw, and it just continued on with the work that Jaso and Nick Leva, Kevin Young, among others, Dean Trainer, working with John Jaso, the perfect student, like a sponge at first base, soaking it all in.
To say nothing of the job he's done offensively, hitting over 300, getting on base, a 390 clip. So how are they going to get the power that they had lost? How are they going to win games? How are they going to score runs without the home runs of Walker and Alvarez, and close to 50 of them? Well, they were going to get guys in the lineup who weren't going to strike out as much. Jeff Branson leading the way as the hitting coach. Jeff Livesey, the assistant hitting coach. You know, get on base more, strike out less, run the bases smarter, do better situational hitting.
How's that working out? Pretty darn good.
Point Park University tweets regarding the Jaso home run. Jaso bomb. He just gets on. Love this. John Jaso Long. John Jaso. Huh. Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Yeah.
And down on strikes. And the 3rd K for Simon. And as Steve said, you don't want Simon to get on any kind of a roll.
Don't let him get comfortable.
This guy's been on a roll for quite a while, and tomorrow it's a kids' day. All kids 14 and under get an Andrew McCutchen Silver Slugger plastic bat. Compliments of Highmark. For tickets, go to pirates.com. Kids Sunday tomorrow. Get to the #1 Conklin Family Fun Zone before the game and after the game. Kids can run the bases. And kids get the plastic Silver Slugger bat, Andrew McCutchen style.
You know, Greg, watching that crazy game in Arizona, last Sunday, I saw something that was kind of subtle, but it involved Andrew McCutchen. From Simon with this next delivery, and he was on first base. Freese hit the double to right center field. Andrew McCutchen made a trip from first to home that I thought was textbook style base running with speed, under control, fundamentally sound. I mean, it was like Secretariat coming around the turns. I thought it was a super snapshot of something that was pretty pure. That trip from first to home for Andrew.
And he loves when he gets that opportunity. David Freese doubled into the right center field gap, and of course, with 2 outs, McCutchen was on his horse. That 12th inning, it's Freese. McCutchen 0 for his last 8 at bats. He's ahead of the count now, 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk. 3rd walk for Simon. McCutchen walks for the 14th time. That's 3rd on the Pirates club, behind Polanco and Cervelli. McCutchen has attempted 3 steals on the year, caught twice. Freese drew a free pass his first time. In case you're wondering, opponents 3 out of 4 in the stolen base department, with Simon on the mound.
And you wonder sometimes if the wet track has anything to do with guys making decisions to take off, whether they get that first quick step, keep it going.
Tough conditions.
Yeah, it is a soft track.
Barnhart has thrown out half the runners attempting to steal.
He's done his job.
One and 2.
Come on, David.
David Freese. Little 3-game hitting streak going for him.
And what's in the future for David Freese when Jung Ho Gung comes back? So,
3rd base and 1st base.
Yep. Yeah.
He's gonna.
There's nothing to worry about because he's going to have action.
As they've said, Gung is not going to really be a complete 100% guy that we saw last year just yet, even when he does come back. So he's going to need more time off than he did last year, certainly. Not going to play every single day. And Freese will spell Jaso over at first base. It's up to that man.
Yep. And it's nice to have those kind of decisions in front of you, how he wants to apply the time for David and the other 2 players.
Pirates, by the way, still playing 1 position player short. We had thought that once they got through those ball games at Coors Field, carrying an extra pitcher, that today would be the day, if not yesterday. They'd regroup, get back to the normal 5 extra men off the bench, but they got Jared Hughes back and sent down Rob Scahill. So just exchanging bullpen arms. There's Jared Hughes, great to have him back.
Yep, Mr. Ground Ball. And what we thought was just kind of a minor little thing down in spring training has lasted this long. So Yeah, he is delighted to be here, activated.
Another foul. Your encouragement from the bench. Our Allegheny Health Network injury update talking about lefty Corey Lupke, who's on the disabled list. He pitched last night, 3 shutout innings at Indianapolis. A couple of hits, struck out 4 on the DL for a couple weeks with a hamstring strain. So he'll be returning before too long. Two and two. And a full count.
This is frustrating because it looks like, you know, we're up 10-0 with the way that Simon is throwing the ball, but we've got 1 run, the home run, and just kind of trying to be patient, trying to get something you can work with.
Full count on David Freese.
Yeah, he's either walking you or striking you out right now. That's the program for Simon.
There goes McCutcheon, and a bouncer right through that hole. This puts runners at first and third.
Boy, is that pretty. The runner takes off from first to second. Just opens that side of the infield up. That's where he bounced the ball.
David Freese, professional. 3-2 pitch.
Yep, the extension.
Right through the vacated second base spot. You saw Brandon Phillips go over to cover.
That's the way you draw it up.
Now at the corners for Marte. Simon struck out Marte with a fastball on the inside half of the plate in the first inning. One of 3 strikeouts. He's also walked 3, and he's now allowed a couple hits. A home run and that Freese hit and run single.
That home run, by the way, the 5th he's given up in just a minimal amount of innings.
And Marte, despite a 5-game hitting streak, hitting .417, he's also hit safely in 9 of his last 10. He is still not where he wants to be with that swing. He's getting his hits as evidenced by those numbers, but that is encouraging to think what this guy's going to do once he really gets going. 0-2.
Yeah, it's not like he's getting the hits with the controlled swing, the aggressive swing, and he's right on the ball. He's flaring the ball here, flaring the ball there. You can tell when a guy's on a real strong roll. I mean, you can see by the way, you know, he gets the hits. It's not just the bloops. He's driving the ball all the time.
Set up again inside. Says pounding Marte inside with these fastballs. Marte 357 lifetime against Simon. The infield at double play depth.
At some point, you're not looking for 1 here in this kind of situation, the way he's throwing the ball. You're looking to break this thing open and just put some numbers up on the board.
Tries to get him to chase away, and 1-2. Opponents came in batting .440 against Simon. He's given up the 2 hits so far in this game and approaching the 70 pitch mark. Still 1-2. Now Simon's splitter is his big pitch. That might have been it, but wasn't a good one. Still 1-2 on Marte.
Yeah, and it's not like you go up there trying to hit foul balls. You're trying to extend at bats. So what you're trying to do is stay alive with good pitches, with pitches that you can't do much with, but they don't create an out.
And laying off something like that, 2-2.
Good plate discipline.
Marte has drawn only 3 walks this season. We told you that Gregory Polanco with 16 to lead the Bucks. And Marte, always been a free swinger. And just 3 free passes. It's 2-2 now on him. Pirates have drawn 100 walks on the year, second only to the Chicago Cubs. Cubs were rained out today against Atlanta. The Cardinals played. They lost to the Nationals 6-1. They've lost 3 straight, have the Redbirds. Pirates start the day 3.5 back of the Cubs in the Central. Simon gets him again.
So frustrating. You're so close to do something, maybe break it open a little bit, and then he comes back and strikes somebody out.
Here's the splitter.
Down, the bottom falls out, and it's a good one.
Well, it's up to Francisco Cervelli with 2 on and 2 outs. Simon 4 strikeouts, 3 walks.
And 70 pitches.
And the Pirates leading 1-0 thanks to the leadoff home run on the very first pitch to John Jaso. To the right side, Brandon Phillips is there. And the Pirates strand a couple through 3. Still 1-0.
It's time for the Toyota RAV4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
1-0. On to the 4th. This game is being played in a light but steady drizzle. And it is 1-0.
The forecasters are absolutely correct. They said it was going to be like this most of the night so far. That's what it's been.
Pretty cool looking view there. And back to the Rotunda and the Renegades.
They'll never leave ship. They won't abandon ship.
They're hardy souls. So back to work for Liriano. Not to get frustrated by the lack of scoring.
Some hardy souls
yeah.
too.
Brandon Phillips leads things off. Phillips, Adam Duvall, Jay Bruce here against Liriano. Fouled off. And Steve, we got some just heartbreaking news today. We found out that our good friend, the voice of St. Vincent Bearcats basketball, football, Dow Carnahan at WCNS Radio Latrobe, passed away suddenly.
Stunning.
Covered local news and Greater Latrobe High School and St. Vincent College sports for over 30 years, an award winner and one of the really, really good guys. We visited with him throughout the year, Dow Carnahan. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and all the folks in the Latrobe area. He will be sorely missed.
Absolutely.
Great friend of the Pirates.
And we've talked to him all spring training. Yeah. We take turns during the spring training month of March and checking in with Dow Monday, Wednesday, and Friday throughout the month. A lot of visits on the caravans. Dow, that's tragic news.
One and two on Phillips. And struck him out looking. Phillips not in agreement with Angel Hernandez. So that pitch is high. Take a look. See if Phillips has a gripe here. Yep,
he does. The pitcher's not in any of those window panes. When you think about these kind of situations, the players really have a pretty good idea what the strike zone is.
Oh, look at this play by David Freese. Oh, what a play by the Bucko third baseman to Rob Duvall.
Talk about the hot corner. Goes to his left, somehow gets the leather around the baseball. That's just a great reaction play.
That ball's past him. David Freese, the veteran third baseman. Sparkling play. Well, what does that do, Steve, for a starting pitcher and get a play like that?
Right, you strike out the first guy, you get that. Now, if you give up a base hit, okay, I'm going to have to work real hard again. All of a sudden, there it is.
Yeah, there's Jordy Mercer all of a sudden.
Whoa!
Behind second base on the outfield grass.
Defense.
Scoreboard 1-0 Pirates lead it. And you're looking at the left side of the Pirates infield defense. David Freese, the third baseman, and Jordy Mercer, the shortstop.
Hot leather. Oh. What do you do with a hot shot? You freeze it.
And that's the shortstop there, playing over on the right side of the bag in the overshifting. Hard hit ball. Just hear that. Outstanding defense, back-to-back from Freese and Mercer. It'll be Polanco, Harrison, and Mercer here in the bottom of the fourth.
And your starting pitcher loving his infielders.
Steve, when you see that, do you start to agree with Joe Girardi that they should ban the shifting in baseball?
You can't tell people that they can't play different places.
That's a ground ball to the shortstop. Nicely done by Cozart. One away.
So Joe says they got to stop the shifts, huh?
Yep.
So, yeah, for 1,000 years, you want to have your left fielder move over a couple steps. You know, that's a shift in its own way. So everybody stays playing. We are going more and more to thoughts about completely sterilizing this whole thing. That's a little bizarre.
Here's Josh Harrison. Jay Hay takes a strike. And towards center, Hamilton. 2 outs. Quick couple of outs now for Simon. Liriano just had an 8-pitch top of this fourth inning, and Simon, who threw 34 pitches in the first inning, only a dozen in the second, and 25 pitches in the third. It's a couple of quick outs here in the fourth. See if Mercer can at least make him work and maybe get it to Liriano.
You made a good point, Greg. Even if he does get comfortable now and has a quick fourth, maybe a fifth, he's not going to be around much longer after that, even if he's efficient.
As each inning goes by that he gets past, even though his pitch count is at 76, confidence builder for him.
Yep.
This is his best start already since that opening start against the Pirates on April the 8th, his first outing of the year. It's just his 4th start.
And he did have 7 strikeouts in that 5-inning stint.
4 strikeouts so far. Looking for his second 1-2-3 inning. Retired the side in order in the second. Shaking off Barnhart. And once different pitch, 2-2.
Yeah, it's not like the 78 pitches that we've clubbed him all over the place. It's a 1-0 ball game. So, I mean, he's done a good job for his manager to get to this point.
Splitter stays up. 3-2.
This is the perfect example for trying to find a way to grind out a start, Mr. Simon. He's grinding.
Mercer lines it towards center field. Billy Hamilton can't make the play. Jordy Mercer has himself a 7-game hitting streak.
And deserved a base hit. Hit that ball very hard. We were uncertain until we saw the ball at back of Billy Hamilton. Here's a good look at it. Allegheny Health Network slow super mo.
Johnson gets to just about everything and thought the ball might hold up for him.
You wanted to get to Liriano, here he is.
Yeah.
He hit the ball hard his first time up.
He was retired on a fine play by Jay Bruce. No diving play or anything. Made it look rather easy. Bruce got a great jump on it. Line toward the right center gap. Of course, Bruce is a solid outfielder. One ball, one strike.
And as a result of that swing and that kind of contact, you saw the off-speed pitch from Simon first delivery.
The other way, line drive, base hit for Liriano. 5 for 12 on the season.
And very easily could be 2 for 2 tonight. He just keeps hitting the ball. Got it upstairs with Simon, and he pays the price.
Well, it is so impressive to see what he has done, going back to really the second half of last year.
And you know, with this wet surface, you can hit a ball like that, and that can shoot off that grass, off the water, and just keep on going. You go back to the ball that Mercer hit. If Hamilton can get at least a glove on that, he might still be running. These balls are going to hit and scoot.
Homer and a strikeout for Jaso. Back-to-back 2-out hits from Mercer, battling on that 3-2 pitch, and then Liriano lining it to left. Liriano already with 5 hits on this young season, making his 5th start. He didn't get his 5th hit until August 13th of last year. The early candidate for the Ken Brett Award, which goes to the best Pirates hitting pitcher from the Pirate broadcasters. 2-1.
Now, it seemed like when you guys were on the tail end of the road trip, John Jaso had adjusted his batting stance a little bit. Wasn't back as much. Now he's...
That's the case right now. He's just open, but his right foot is not back completely on the back line. He says he just at times pitch to pitch, just how he feels. So now he is going back.
Yep.
Lines this ball foul. Just a feel thing, he said. No rhyme or reason to it as to when he decides to take that foot off the back line. Came up with it when he was playing with the Seattle Mariners 4 years ago, and they were opening the season in Tokyo against the Oakland A's. Jason Vargas, a pitcher for the Mariners, was pitching in a simulated game, and just for fun, he decided to put that right foot on the back line of the batter's box and felt good with it and pretty much stayed with it. 3-2.
Here we go again. Start the merry-go-round. The Pirates looking for a break it open hit. Two quick outs for Simon, and then 2 base hits. And he's in the soup again.
So he's had to throw 5 more pitches, and it is so hard to tell, Steve, how important it is for a pitcher to do what Liriano has been able to do this season at the plate, and in this case here in this inning, to extend this frame.
Yep.
And there's ball 4, and Mercer is going to hold there. But I mean, here we go. The bases are now loaded. Mercer got it going, of course, just to get to Liriano. Talk about helping yourself in a ball game. Pirates pitcher.
Yep. Now they are going to get busy Cincinnati
and now Andrew McCutchen comes to the plate, and it's all because of those two, Mercer and Liriano, that they're going to have to get the bullpen up. I mean, Simon was a pitch away from going back to the dugout.
Now they're going to try to buy some time.
Mark Riggins, the pitching coach, is going to head out. Looks like they're going to pull the tarp, and they're going to get Blake Wood loosening in the bullpen. Four walks, 4 strikeouts for Simon, and 4 hits for the Pirates. McCutchen has struck out and walked, and this seems to be Simon's crossroads here. Can he get McCutchen and stay in the ball game, or can McCutchen maybe deliver a knockout punch, though Wood is just now starting to loosen.
It still feels like we're up 7-0, but it's 1-zip. And Simon has been getting outs when he's needed them.
In case you're wondering, McCutchen has never hit a grand slam. He struck out and walked in this game. He is just 2 for 16 against Reds pitching this season. They've done a tremendous job pitching to Andrew McCutchen in this, the 5th game of the season series. 2 for 16.
And Simon out in front, 0-1. A good looking first pitch.
There aren't many teams that limit McCutchen to a 125 batting average. And he's going to get out of it. 6-4 on the 4th. They leave them loaded. Still 1-0. Cardinals, they'll look to salvage that series tomorrow. They've got Carlos Martinez on the hill tomorrow. For the Pirates, it'll be Jeff Locke going up against Raisel Iglesias. So Francisco Liriano tried to help knock out Simon, did his part. Simon able to get McCutchen to bounce out. And it'll be Tucker Barnhart, the pitcher's spot, and Simon is out on deck now. And then Billy Hamilton.
Yep. Liriano has just allowed 1 base runner since the 1st inning. That was the single by Suarez.
2 hits and 1 error. 3 men to reach for the Reds. Barnhart bounced out to David Freese in the second.
Well, it's gotten cooler. It's gotten a little windier, but the rain has backed off. Just barely a sprinkle.
Toward right center, and Polanco.
Maybe looking into the lights a little bit, but staying with it.
Here's a tweet we have, #BucksBooth. If you have a thought, a comment, question, besides the grip on the ball, does the rain affect the flight of the ball?
I don't think so. I never really explored that.
But what about the grip?
Yeah, the grip, yeah, you rub the ball up. I mean, you're getting a new baseball whenever you need it.
You never really had a big problem with it?
I never had a real big problem, unless it's a steadier rain. Now it's barely a sprinkle. But you know, if it's raining hard, I was more worried about my footing than the grip on the baseball.
Two and 0. Yeah, not much effect on the flight of the ball. And there's a chopper. Cervelli. Oh! Well,
there's a grip on the ball.
We talk about the grip on the ball. Jaso fires to second, and he is out.
How about that?
Mercer somehow got a tag on Simon, who went in standing up. Heck of a play by Jaso to Mercer.
Yep. That was a Kennywood play.
Here's one catcher catching a flyer, and then a former catcher picking up the ball and gunning it to Mercer.
And a pitcher trying to do too much as a runner. There's the flyer. And now Simon.
Well, if he goes in to slide, I mean, he's safe.
Oh, yeah.
He just goes in kind of walking.
It was a drive-by tag on the shoulder or back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Kennywood, you're up on top of the world. And then he throws it away at the bottom. Now you're back up on top. So 2 outs and nobody on. It's all good.
That's going to be an E2 error on Cervelli and a put out 3-6.
So once again, an opportunity for Liriano to have an efficient inning in the top of the 5th.
2-0 on Hamilton. 2-1. Good timing with that tweet we got. #BucksBooth about the impact the rain has on the flight of the ball, and then we talked about the grip. And there is a base hit for Hamilton.
And don't think for a minute that the slow track between first and second will be a factor preventing Billy Hamilton from taking off in a 1-0 ball game. Just out of the reach here on this line drive. Ball slicing back, trying to slice back to Jay. So what do they got coming up at Seven Springs? Mud on the mountain. Well, there's mud at PNC Park too. Anyway, good luck to Alex Moser and all the folks up there at Seven Springs. Annual Mud on the Mountain program.
That's an important first pitch strike with Hamilton on first base. One of his 4 steals this season against Pittsburgh. Pirates just could not get him out last year when he was on the bases. He was 16 for 17 in the stolen base department against Pittsburgh. Shot past David Freese, and Hamilton is flying. And Billy Hatcher's going to wave him home. Here comes the throw to the plate, and what a job! No, safe there. Mercer did everything right. Cervelli looked like he applied the tag, but Hamilton's speed apparently beat the rap. He can fly. And he was safe, according to Dave Jouse. Wow.
Oh, here's where he slow it down on the super mow. There's the hand. Correct call.
Billy Hamilton, talk about, look at this guy.
Almost looked like Francisco had to come up to take the bounce.
Man, he can run. And even a stumble. A little bit of a stumble 3/4 the way down the line, and Mercer knew he had no time to waste. Threw a one-hop strike to Cervelli. Billy Hatcher, third base coach for Cincinnati, went ahead and waved him.
That was a great throw by Mercer. Looked like it might have come up a little bit. Francisco took the throw up, and then it had to get back down. Couldn't get there in time.
You saw that it looked as though he tagged him with an empty glove anyway. Had the ball in the bare hand. Suarez 1-2. Take another look. You've got no time to waste here, Mercer. Turn and gun.
Well, everybody did everything right on that play, including Hamilton, including Marte, Mercer, Francisco.
Good baseball play.
Yep.
Speed wins out. Billy Hamilton, base hit and then scoring on the Cozart double to left.
He is such a factor. You don't keep him off third base.
That was one of the tips to win from Steve. And keeping Hamilton off the bases, even though he came in batting only 176 when he does get on. That's what he can do. One and two. And to the shortstop, sliding stop, Mercer to his feet. What a play that was!
Run saver, run saver.
Jordy Mercer down to get the Suarez ground ball. It's now 1-1.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the all-new Chevy Malibu and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. Our service centers are now open evenings and weekends. Visit barrelservice.com for more. Let's go Bucks!
Now it is 1-1. The Cozart double scoring Billy Hamilton. It's even at 4 apiece.
If it wasn't for Jordy Mercer, they would be ahead 2-1. Fine play. Keep it at 1. And guess who's still out on the mound? Simon. Well, you got to give him credit. It hasn't been pretty, but he's out there after
He's battling, isn't he?
4 struggling innings.
He's walked Freeze and given up a hit and run single to him. Pirates have stranded 7 runners through the first 4 innings. And that's going to stay fair. It stays fair. On the line. No, he says foul. It looked like that ball was on the line. But
nobody arguing.
Nobody arguing at all. They've got, in fact, third base coach Rick Sofield would be the first guy down there if it, we'll get a great look here.
See how close the line is to the grass. So once it falls off the grass, it does turn. And
wow. Oh, man.
That's got mud and chalk and leather.
Rick Sofield. He had as good an angle as anybody. And a shot into center field, so that's just as good, if not better.
Well, good night for David Freese. With a leather with a bat.
One of the harder hit balls of the night right there. He's on base for a 3rd time. David Freese. 2 for 2 plus a walk, a 4-game hitting streak. He's loving PNC Park this season too. Oh, Marte. See where this got him. Ouch.
Near the end of the bat on the fingers.
Yeah,
not much protection. That can so easily be a broken bone, one of the small bones on a hand or fingers. Are they sending? Why is Freese going back to first base?
Well, it's possible that they said it hit the
close to hitting
bat,
just
Angel
the bat.
Hernandez. No, I think they could. I think they can challenge this if that's the case. Now, maybe going to get some help from Ted Barrett, the crew chief.
Angel calling timeout. We're going to sort this out, but Freese still at first base.
Is Marte going to? Oh, they're looking at Dave Joust. Maybe is already checking the replay with Kevin Roach back in the clubhouse as they tend to Marte. Ben Potenziano clearly hit him on that hand. So they will challenge it. That's exactly what happened. They are going to challenge because Angel Hernandez ruled it a foul ball. Hernandez, the home plate umpire, and Ted Barrett, the crew chief, clearly hits his hand. And maybe, you know, Hernandez just going on that sound. It sounded like bat, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's not much there if it's down in the end by your finger, small finger. I mean, you get the sound of the bat because there's really not a lot of soft tissue there.
they're deciding that I assume Marte's going to be okay to continue.
Big deal for the Pirates
it
to
might
put
be a
men on
question
first and
of,
second.
it's a difference too of running at first base and continuing to hit. Now Marte uses kind of the thicker batting gloves. He does get hit a lot. Hard to imagine this is taking all that long. It was clear that it hit his hand. Pirates are challenging this.
Here we go.
The crew chief will have the final
Survey
decision.
says.
Yep, hit his hand. So the Pirates win that challenge, and Marte will remain in the game, and hopefully that is nothing serious. Hear it?
I'll tell you, that sounds like a bat.
It does. That's probably, I mean, that had to be what Angel Hernandez was going by, the sound.
And it's right down on the end. I mean, it's by the little finger in the end of the bat.
Doesn't sound good.
Okay, that is a big deal. Now the Pirates, 2 men on, nobody out here in the 5th. And the leash has really got to be short on Simon now.
And for the Pirates, needing to cash in.
Yep. And you do want to get into that Cincinnati bullpen.
Though the Pirates lead the majors in hits this season, they also lead with runners left on base. Left over 200 men on the bases, including 7 so far in the first 4 innings. And Cervelli comes up as if to bunt. Right hand up the barrel.
Yeah, the old equation that if you have so many people on the base pass, you're bound to leave something.
Well, that's like the double play. Is that a good statistic? But if you lead the league in double plays turned, that means your pitching staff's giving up a lot of base runners, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
So first and second, and Gregory Polanco is on deck. Not bunting here, and it's a fly ball to shallow center field and drops in for a base hit. David Freese is going to be waved. Throw will be cut off. The Pirates regain the lead. Great job by Freese. He read that all the way, knew that there was no way Hamilton was going to make that catch. Cervelli the RBI. Just like that, the Pirates back on top.
That should be about it. Gets that ball up. He didn't crush it, but ball's upstairs. That's going to require a pitching change for the Reds.
And of course, Hamilton not a strong arm at all, so Freese scores. Again, the look, doesn't even look back, knows that's going to fall in. 2-1 Pirates. Ryan Price, the pitching change. Simon goes 4+. Cervelli, the RBI. It's the knockout punch. His 12th run batted in, scoring David Freese from second to give the Pirates this 2-1 lead. Nobody out here in the 5th. Well, Instagram last night reposted from Francisco Cervelli these photos. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza, that's Cervelli. On a scale of 1 to 10, my offseason with Francisco Cervelli, 29. And of course, the moon and number 29, they love Francisco Cervelli. And they love him when he drives in the go-ahead run. The pizza pie.
Dreary night, but it's getting a little brighter, a little more fun. The Pirates take the lead.
Here is J.C. Ramirez.
Worked last night, a scoreless bottom of the 8th inning, issued a walk. It's just his 4th appearance.
Polanco's popped up and bounced to short. And kind of hard to believe that can happen.
It happens. It happens. Okay, what are the signs?
More often than it should.
Yep.
Just came into the ball game.
And everybody's out there talking. His catcher was out there talking to him. Maybe they talked about everything else but signs. Numbers for Ramirez so far, as we said, just appearance number 4. He's given up 1 home run.
Promoted from AAA Louisville on the 22nd of this month. He appeared in 5 games for the Louisville Bats. From Nicaragua, J.C. Ramirez. '97, ball 1.
It's not raining as hard, but at least it's getting colder.
At least we have that.
Which is nice.
Which is nice. In on his hands, bounced, and that is a fair ball to Votto. The runners move up 90 feet.
In on the pins, and on, beyond in, more than in.
In off the plate at 97 miles an hour. So Marte to third.
I think Gregory was looking for the fastball. Got to be to pull it like that. That speed, that location.
Infield comes in for Jay Hay. He's bounced to short and fly to center. See that 14 RBI total for Josh Harrison. He and Gregory Polanco leading the Pirates in runs batted in through the first 23 games. And this is game number 24. Pirates trying to win their 6th straight. Ball and a strike on Harrison.
Plenty of heat from Ramirez.
8-game hitting streak for him. The home run last night we talked about earlier, ending that homerless string of 379 consecutive at-bats. Chasing 98, 1 and 2, and kind of smacking himself on the helmet there.
Well, Josh has been red hot, but we've seen a couple of these waves. And, been doing just fine around those waves.
Two and two. Just a ball through the infield will do, or a fly ball with depth certainly will score Marte. That great speed at third. To right field, Jay Bruce will set up for a throw, but Marte will score easily. In fact, Bruce will throw towards second. Sacrifice fly for Harrison. Nicely done, 3-1. Pitch was up, 98. Josh Harrison gets the job done. After that bad-looking swing out of the zone. It's a pitch that he drives the other way and gives the Pirates this 3-1 lead.
Work around Jordy.
Intentionally walk Mercer to get to Francisco Liriano.
The hot bat. You wonder if Liriano will go up there and just look for that heat, that 97-mile-an-hour fastball right off the bat, and just get the swing started early. Not a bad approach for a guy that's known for his fastball. Guess that.
So Francisco Liriano tonight, this is his second inning at bat. Look at this line drive to right center. Bruce had a great jump, tracked it down, and then the opposite field. Base hit.
And he's not flukes either. I mean, that's a legitimate swing. But now he's going to be challenged. I'd be stunned if he didn't get the fastball here.
5 hits for Liriano, the most of any pitcher in baseball. '96 fouls it out of play.
You're looking for it, but it's tough to catch up in a good spot also.
To skip out of the way of a pitch down and in at 97.
You know, that's not much fun for anybody to stand in there on that kind of heat, especially a pitcher. And they want it inside.
Man. Jeez. Bounced foul.
And he pulls it.
Gets him with the breaking ball. But the Pirates get the lead back. 2 runs in the inning. 3-1 Pirates after 5.
Stormy, steady rain in the first 5 innings. Pirates lead 3-1 as we hit inning number 6. Well, earlier when it was sunny and really nice, Out on Federal Street, Steel City Cornhole hosted the first ever Pirates Cornhole Classic. It was on Federal Street, a double elimination tournament. Lots of good things go on out there, especially on Saturdays that fans can partake on. And this is a new tradition. We're getting started, a nice little cornhole tournament. I didn't get the reports of the winners, Greg and Steve, but maybe one day, maybe we can submit a team and do it. Steve, you still have it underhanded? We might be able to win a Cornhole Classic one time?
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I think Greg and I can take anybody in the city on.
I don't know. Well, you and I both know the Niggles, Mike and his wife, Allie, and we've played them at different areas around Pittsburgh, and they beat everybody. How could they have lost? We got a report that they were shut out. Mike and Allie.
That's very surprising.
Yeah.
Very, very surprising.
Thank you for that, Robbie.
Yeah.
That report on what looked like a fun day, regardless. Yeah. So here now, Joey Votto.
I think we should get in on that.
Yeah. Yep. Strike on Votto, line to left in the third. Reached on an error in the first. And a couple of strikes on him. Juan Nicasio went 7 innings in last night's ball game. That was awfully good to see and needed. Strike 3 on Votto.
This will be an interesting look. It's a high breaking ball, not a good-looking delivery at all, but he gets the call at the top of the strike zone. It was similar to the call he got on Brandon Phillips earlier in that neighborhood. I mean, not a good-looking pitch, but sometimes it all works out. Number 5.
Here's Phillips. 1 of 4 hits. Driven towards center. McCutchen makes the catch.
And nicely done by Andrew with that wind helping knock that ball down a little bit and allow him to chase it down.
Save big when you use your Giant Eagle Advantage card this season. Get up to $10 off tickets on Sunday home games. Just show your Giant Eagle Advantage card at the PNC Park ticket windows or go to pirates.com/advantage card. Two quick outs. See if he can get Duvall. Ball robbed of a hit by David Freese his last time up. And a first pitch strike.
And you got the consideration of having him run out there for the 7th inning. Well, it's be an interesting matchup right here, this particular at bat for Liriano, to see if there would be consideration for 7 innings.
Foul ball. That 17 of 23 first pitch strikes for him. Talk about a key for Liriano, throwing those strikes.
Yep. I love it. 5 strikeouts. Yeah, not a lot, but no free passes.
McCutchen's all right. Flexing that knee a little bit. Oh, they had him. Josh Harrison was running off the field toward his dugout, taking about 6 steps.
You might see a lot of guys stretching and flexing knees or some different parts because it's raw now. It's cold. It's miserable out there.
Still 1 and 2. Well, 1 more out for Liriano, and look at the rotation since Nicasio a week ago Friday went 7. Last Wednesday, John Neese pitched into the 6th. Cole on Tuesday went 6. Locke went 6. Nicasio went 7 last night. And Liriano will go at least 6 tonight with his 6th strikeout.
What an inning to have it be 3 up, 3 down. Perfect spot for Francisco.
Of the night, and let's take a look at the strike call to Adam Duvall. Liriano got a couple of strikes called in that inning.
Yeah, you're not going to get that call very often, but he's actually gotten it 3 times.
Duvall. You can see Duvall, that is not a strike.
Duvall, Votto, and
the manager came out to get Duvall back to the dugout, Brian Price.
nice to get those calls. Votto, Phillips, and Duvall.
First pitch swinging. Jaso kind of gave up on it. He thought, oh, brother. How about that little fancy play by Brandon Phillips? Brandon Phillips decides to give the fans a little treat with a behind-the-back flip. Jaso had kind of given up when he first swung, thinking that the pitcher was going to get this easy ground ball.
It all changes.
But then,
you know what? That's pretty to look, but he didn't have to do that. That's,
of course he didn't.
I mean,
obviously, he didn't
make the play.
Yep. And Phillips says, "Thank you very much." He believes he is out there to not only just play the game, but entertain. A little behind the back flip. He has been patrolling that second base for a lot of years. He turned down a deal to the Washington Nationals over the winter. 2-0 on McCutchen.
Now, is this a good? Is that showing a player up? Is that showing Jaso up by doing that? I don't know. That's borderline to me. I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. But that's what he does. He got the out. Could have got the out the traditional way too. And that'll be all over the highlight shows.
That's the whole point.
Yep. Be all over the highlight shows.
And you know, Jaso was so frustrated that he didn't run right away, just disgusted with himself. So and you think to yourself, all right, well, if he had taken off right away, then Phillips doesn't have that opportunity to showboat. So
you're right. After the ball got by the pitcher, that it was on.
Stays 2-2 on McCutchen. He has struck out, walked, and bounced into a fielder's choice. hitless in his last 9 at-bats. As we were saying earlier tonight, the Reds have just done a tremendous job pitching to McCutchen this season. In this, the 5th game of the season series. It continues tomorrow. And the Cubs in for 3 starting Monday night. And in the air to center. Billy Hamilton, the second out.
And not that this series in this game is not intense, but it'll start getting real intense Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's the Cubbies go off to such a great start.
2 night games, and then a Wednesday afternoon, the homestand comes to an end. To McCutchen firing his helmet down. Just hope that that's just out of frustration for not hitting, and it's nothing to do with the knee that we thought he was flexing earlier. Of course, we don't make too much of it, but there's Ben Potenziano, the assistant trainer, checking with him. 3-1 Pittsburgh. Game. Pirates lead it as we go to the 7th inning. A frustrated Andrew McCutchen. This is the Brandon Phillips flyout. Again, we don't want to make too much of it, but he is your star, and everything he does we're watching closely. And so when you see him kind of grimace a little bit there, and then he was flexing that that knee a little bit, that the microscope's on him. He is the man. And Ben Potenziano checking with him when he came back to the dugout. Jay Bruce takes ball 1.
And Clint Hurdle looking for one more inning from Francisco Liriano. He's got activity in the bullpen just in case. Naftali Feliz getting ready if needed.
Two and one on Bruce. Bruce hit the ball hard in the 4th inning, but the Pirates had the shift on. The shortstop was over the first base side of second. Jordy Mercer, who's now going over there now with 2 strikes. 2-2 the count on Bruce, who struck out in the 2nd.
The picket line set up.
He's hit to start the 7th.
Ooh, right off the elbow, stinger. And the leash for Francisco just got a little shorter.
A little slip there from Liriano. And out comes Cervelli. This game, as we said, has been played in a steady drizzle since the start.
Yeah, and now it's gotten colder, so it is. Yeah, it's not much fun right now. Yeah, Liriano trying to keep his footing, and then Hurdle pacing.
Tucker Barnhart has grounded out and flied out to right. Use a ground ball here, of course, but it's outside.
Pitch number 100 coming up.
Pinch hitter on deck. Three runs, 6 hits for the Bucks, a run, 4 hits for the Reds. The Pirates have stranded 9. The Reds have left 4. Liriano had 3 1-2-3 innings. The 2nd, the 4th, and the 6th. And he misses. And a very important pitch for him and the Pirates right here.
Yep. If it's not a strike. Yeah.
And he's likely not going to get a chance to finish this 7th. 3-1.
Unless he gets a ground ball here, maybe.
Toward McCutchen in right center field. And he makes the catch. And again, a grimace. Outstanding play by Andrew McCutchen.
Stays with it. Got a fix on it.
Fabulous grab by McCutchen. Saves a run, robs Barnhart of extra bases in right center. Here's Jordan Pacheco. Ball one on Pacheco, the pinch hitter.
Clint giving Liriano every opportunity to finish off this 7th inning.
So McCutchen going to decide to play a little bit deeper here. Pacheco, you see the pinch hitting numbers.
One of the neat things about that play was, if you look at the flags now, they're kind of blowing over toward right center field, so that ball was continuing to try to run away from him, from the right-handed bat. He stayed with it.
Two and one on Pacheco.
Still 95 miles an hour.
Pacheco, a pinch hit double off Tony Watson last night.
But then Tony got it together and just left him there.
Into shallow right. And Polanco makes the sliding grab.
You guys are doing everything they can do to keep Francisco in there.
Health Network Super Mo. Polanco decides to go into that feet first slide.
Yep. Elbows and kneecaps and everything on that body all over the place. One more, Francisco.
It's Billy Hamilton. One of the 4 hits for the Reds. Two-out single. And scored on the Cozart double. Two balls, no strikes. Very likely Liriano's last batter of the night. 108 pitches.
His most of any start.
Eugenio Suarez on deck. Chop toward third. Going to be a tough play. Freese is going to just have to hold on to it. Base hit. And Hurdle is going to make the pitching change.
Yep. Try to get him through this 7th. That little chopper does it for Francisco.
Infield single ends Liriano's night, but outstanding work from the Bucco lefty. 6 2/3, 6 strikeouts, no walks. 12th time in his career, 6 or more strikeouts, no walks, and the first time since June of 2011 he's done that. Miller time later in the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Tonight, Francisco Liriano, 6 2/3, 5 hits, Steve, and no walks.
Yeah, that's the operative number, I think. Nope. 3 passes. The 6 strikeouts, half of them were on call third strikes upstairs. Well, whatever works. Devato and then Duvall, thinking that it wasn't going to be called on him. So when the dust settles, very, very good outing under trying, challenging conditions for Francisco Liriano. Let's hope that Feliz can put a lid on this one, and he's going to do it.
One pitch.
Yep.
Harrison. Polanco calls him off. One pitch for Feliz to get the final out and close the book for Francisco Liriano, giving up a 1 run in 6 2/3 innings. No walks, 6 strikeouts. And we're going to keep it here for a wet take me out to the ball game as Liriano greets Neftali Feliz, and we're going to be heading to the bottom of the 7th with the Pirates leading it 3-1.
Everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
highlights from tonight's ball game to the sounds of Jonathan Jackson and E Nation. Pirates leading at 3-1. Andrew McCutchen, an outstanding catch. Top of this 7th inning, Tony Cingrani. That's the 3rd pitcher to work for the Reds this evening.
And he has been busy. Appearance number 12. Ramirez goes a couple of scoreless innings. Still at 3-1.
And you'd like to add on here, Starling Marte. Leads off, a couple of strikeouts against Alfredo Simon, and then hit by that pitch. So good to see him continue in the ball game. That left pinky finger, and scored. And a sacrifice fly by Josh Harrison. Remember, Marte hit by the pitch after a David Freese leadoff single. Initially, Angel Hernandez called it a foul ball. The Pirates challenged, and the call was overturned. Both men scored. Pirates had taken a 1-0 lead. John Jaso swung at the first pitch he saw in the bottom of the 1st inning, leading off in his 5th career leadoff home run. First by a Pirate since August of last year when Gregory Polanco led off against the Dodgers with a homer. The Reds tied it in the top of the 5th, but the Pirates came back with those 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th to take the lead against Simon, give the lead to Liriano. 6 more outs to get for the Pirates to win their 6th straight. Two and two, and now Marte limps. He takes the ball. The side of his shin there.
Yep, that'll make him forget about the finger. This
on a cold night.
This game has had such a strange feel. It's like I don't know. It's like
it's being played in a light drizzle most of the night.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like.
In slow motion, just testing everybody's ability to pay attention. And nothing has been decided. I mean,
no.
this game is still up there. A 2-run lead.
It's Marte, Cervelli, Polanco for the Pirates. Cingrani has been a starter at times. Might even close with J.J. Hoover now out of that role. Ryan Price has said it'll be closer by committee. Look out. Barrow goes sailing toward the seats. Marte is retired.
Talk about a spear. Gingerly getting back to the dugout. That's a long trip for that bat. Comes that. That bat in that condition can do a lot of damage. Yeah. I don't know what happened on the play. I was following the bat.
Just bounced out to the pitcher, and now they're checking on Marte's high ankle there, hit by that pitch. Came limping back. Started off okay, but then ends with a limp. Two 2-0 on Cervelli. And that looks like it'll be it for Marte for the night as he goes down the dugout steps with Ben Potenziano. Line to center. Cervelli ho-hum on base for the third time. 2 for 3 plus a walk. Check out the Nissan road ahead Raisel Iglesias on the mound for Cincinnati against Jeff Locke. Locke coming off that outstanding start his last time out, getting his first win. And Iglesias has been one of the best starters for Cincinnati. Iglesias beat the Pirates 5-1 early this season.
By the way, did you hear that quote from Cervelli? He says he wants to be a broadcaster when he gets through playing. Yeah, he wants to wear a tie and a suit.
Yeah.
So, and he'll wear it well.
Not the robe, huh?
Yeah.
I think if he becomes a broadcaster, he's got to wear that robe.
Got to.
Sharp-dressed man, isn't he?
Yeah.
One ball, 0-1 the count.
Seems like a good night for a cup of hot tea.
0-2. Tony Cingrani. And he gets Gregory Polanco looking for the second out. He'll face Josh Harrison. Was this a strike? Oh my. Oh, brother. Well, Angel Hernandez is speeding things along. Give him credit.
Trying to get even.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, you know, as long as both sides are getting the calls, right?
Yeah.
Jose fouls it out of play.
You know, that's kind of a moot point, but you got a 3-1 ball game here. You know, you don't want to be coming back and looking, hey, somebody got a bat or 2 or 3 taken away from them. The Reds could make the same argument,
right,
and then some.
Ball to strike on Harrison. Harrison has bounced out, fly to center, and hit a sacrifice fly. Two and one. Cingrani, third round pick of the Reds in 2011. Made 18 starts. His rookie year went 7-4, had a 2.92 ERA. Two and two, and nice crowd on hand despite the bad weather. 34,810 on a fireworks night. Braving the wet weather and cool conditions.
Very patient, very patient. Deserving of a Pirate win and a good show.
Two and two, 2 outs. And a liner to center field for Harrison.
Streak extender.
9-gamer for Jay Hay. More than halfway to his career high. Line single to center field. He had a 15-game hitting streak 2 years ago. 9 games now, he's hit safely. He also had the sacrifice fly in the 5th. And we'll see if Jordy Mercer can bring home a very important insurance run with 2 outs. "13 ribbies for Mercer on the year. He has a 7-game hitting streak going. Mercer drove in 55 runs 2 years ago. It was his first really full season of playing every day in the big leagues. Last year, spent some time on the disabled list. Leg bruise and sprained MCL, the left knee. Two and one. Jordy Mercer's last 3 seasons. Two and two. Ronnie tries to put a 0 on the board here for the Reds. Keep it a 2-run deficit. Mercer to center. And Hamilton will make the catch. Pirates strand 2 more. They lead by 2 onto the 8th.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Bucks leading 3-1.
We'll turn it over to Tony Watson after Phillies came in.
Good to see Marte still out there, so maybe get back into the clubhouse wrapped. Sean Rodriguez takes over at first base.
Saw Tony Watson last night give up a leadoff double and then strand that runner. That double never got any further than second base. Facing Suarez, Votto, and Phillips here in the 8th inning.
It's the situation the Pirates haven't found themselves in a whole heck of a lot in what they've wanted. Clint Hurdle likes to say, wants to use the bullpen when he wants to, not when he has to. The idea was the last 3 innings belonging to Felice, Watson, and Melanson. And for a couple games early in the year, it was Watson in the 7th, Felice in the 8th. Here the game plan is Felice, Watson, Melanson.
And I guess during those times that Tony did, Clint was saying that he liked the matchups of maybe some lefties in there and had the luxury of using him then and being able to trust Felice after that.
Of course, Watson has been an automatic 8th inning guy for a couple of years, and the Pirates had never matched up Watson. He was just in the 8th regardless.
Right.
at. Sean Rodriguez played perfectly, and he'll beat Suarez to the bag.
I'm glad because Tony wasn't going to get there in time. The defensive positioning, perfect. Maybe Tony would have got there. He got a slow start, but well, moot point. Sean got it done.
Joey Votto, 0 for 3.
You want to pound him in? Looks like it.
.294 career hitter against Watson, Joey Votto.
We have heard that a lot of the pitchers around the National League is trying to tie Votto up, working inside. Misses again. 2-run game. Don't want any base runners.
Base runner with 1 out. Follow the Pirates live with MLB.com at bat. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Just a light mist now, not impacting the ice cream. And here is Phillips, 1 for 3. Fouled out of play.
Brandon Phillips has hit into 1 double play this year.
Phillips, homer, 7 RBIs so far on the year. Pirates trying to win 2 straight over the Reds and win 3 of the first 5 in the season series. Remember last year the Pirates did great work against every other division and even the other league, but not so great against the Central. They were 34 and 42 against their own divisional opponents. They were 8 and 11 against the Reds. They felt like they wanted to do a couple of things to get them over the top and win the division, stay away from a wild card, and that was to get off to a better start and do better against divisional foes. Well, a win tonight would give the Pirates 15 W's for the first month of the season. That's fouled out of play. The Pirates, in 130 seasons, haven't been able to win 15 games in the first month, but a handful of times. They were 15 and 12 in 2013, 15 and 5 in 1992. So this win tonight would match the club record for wins in April. And they would improve to 8 and 3 against the Central if they can nail this down. They still need 5 outs, and Brandon Phillips is being a bit of a pest here.
Tony had him way out in front on an off-speed delivery. Did you say 15 and 5 that one year?
That's what the notes say. 15 and 5 in 1992.
20 games?
Yeah.
Hey, 15 and 5 is very impressive.
There, he got him.
Went back to the off-speed pitch.
Strikes out Brandon Phillips.
See the one-hand swing way out in front, chasing. Early swing, and again, you commit that early. You can't shut it down when that pitch is nowhere near the strike zone. Tony gets a big second out.
Here's Adam Duvall.
And Cervelli saying, I like that previous off-speed pitch. Let's go to it again. Not only do the pitchers have to read what the hitters do and react accordingly on the subsequent pitches, but so does the catcher's got to be alert to what works and what doesn't.
Out in front quickly, 0-2.
And you go back upstairs, and he's a little behind on the fastball. Now you put the hitter in a very defensive position where he can't afford to take anything close. This is how you get a lot of strikeouts. Out in front, 0-2. Been that way for a lot of years. None of these hitters like to be called out on strikes. Up and in. Sure.
Tony Watson walks a man, strikes out a pair, and the Pirates' lead is still 2.
Presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Jeff Locke will take the mound as the Pirates wrap up this series against the Reds tomorrow afternoon. Coverage begins at 1 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. A moment ago we said it would be Locke against Raisel Iglesias, but the Reds got more bad news. There's reports that Iglesias is heading back to Cincinnati with shoulder pain. One report says a pinch in his throwing shoulder and perhaps going back to Cincinnati for reevaluation. So we are not sure whom Locke will be facing tomorrow. We know it won't be Iglesias, and we know that Caleb Cotham is now on the mound.
The numbers for Caleb, very good ERA, and 54, first 11 appearances.
Matt Joyce, the pinch hitter.
Extraordinaire.
Second pinch hit home run last night. It's this hard into right field.
Extraordinary.
Leadoff pinch hit single for Matt Joyce.
He doesn't want to be left out. Right in the wheelhouse, like pretty much center cut. Solid.
board, and Sean Rodriguez, who came on defensively at the top of this inning, will come to the plate. John Jaso homered to start the first inning. It was 1-0 until the 5th when the Reds tied it. Pirates untied it with a 2 spot in the bottom of the 5th inning. Alfredo Simon went 4+, gave up 3 runs. He walked 4, 6 hits. And Francisco Liriano went 6 2/3, 1 run, 5 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. 12th time in Liriano's career that he did not allow a walk and struck out as many as 6 in a game. That ball lined deep to left field, toward the wall, and clear the deck. Cannonball coming for Serpico. Line drive, 2-run homer, and the Bucks take a 5-1 lead in this 8th inning. His 4th.
This guy comes in for his glove. Line shot to left field. Line shots to left field that go over the fence are not cheap home runs.
Line drive, bullet over the wall and left. Well, that's going to hurt. This young man tried to catch that ball.
Ouch.
Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Ouch indeed.
Well, we knew Duvall wasn't going to catch it.
Sean Rodriguez matches his home run total from last year when he hit 4 in 224 at bats. McCutchen held hitless. Another look at the S-Rod swing.
These two guys come off the bench first at bats. Line shot, base hit, line shot, home run. How about that?
Four homers for him. He has 10 hits in 30 at bats, 4 homers, and 13 runs batted in. Sean Rodriguez. I think they're getting production out of him.
And he comes in for defense.
And McCutchen lines one to right, but Bruce is going to be there.
Another frustrating night for Andrew.
McCutchen hitless in 4 at bats plus a walk. David Freese, a couple of hits and a walk. Don't think you could say enough as we watch A.J. Schugel loosening, because it's now a 4-run lead. Save not part of the equation at the moment, so Melanson sits down. I don't think you can say enough, Steve, about this acquisition of David Freese in spring training. I mean, what a job by Neil Huntington to pick up this guy.
He goes on, yeah, picking people. He's been everything. Well, he's been absolutely more than everything. It was one of those things, you know, he's been a very solid baseball player, but that trade, that acquisition didn't make a lot of noise, but he's been terrific.
Down on strikes for the 2nd out. And of course, Jaso during the winter. Joyce was a late addition in spring training. Joyce was signed to a minor league contract, non-roster invitee. He has been tremendous with 11 hits and 29 at bats.
You gotta say, all around, so far so good. The pitching seems to be heading in the right direction. They're getting a little tighter.
Oh, he's hit again. And now it gets a little testy.
You know, before last night, Greg, these teams in the last 4 years had hit each other 37 times. It was a dead heat. And a lot of discussion, a lot of conversation about why it keeps happening.
Well, that's the sixth Pirate that, if you're keeping count, the sixth Pirate in the season series. The sixth Pirate by a Red, and only one Reds player has been hit by the Pirates in the season series. Brings up Francisco Cervelli, who has 2 hits in 3 at-bats. RBI single in the 5th, walked in the 1st, and you know Marte wants to run badly now. Sent along a get-well wish to Nick Ivkovich. Ross's dad asked us to pass along a get-well wish to his dad Nick, big Pirates fan. Bucks leading this one 5-1, have out-hit the Reds 10-5.
And Greg, while we're on the subject, get well wishes to John Zingaro. He's a minister from Illinois who has been down to the Pirates fantasy camp for several years. I've had him on my team a couple of years. He's under the weather, and John, the Rev, we're thinking about you. And I hope you get well enough to come back down next January. John Zingaro, really fine man.
Two 2-0 on Cervelli, with Marte on for a second time, having been hit by a pitch. Marte scored on a sacrifice fly later in the 5th. By the way, the Reds pitching staff has hit 13 batters so far this season, which matches the Diamondbacks and Padres for the most. The Pirates pitchers have hit 7. 2-1.
Talk about a miserable night for Starling. He's struck out. He's 0 for 3 technically. Struck out a couple of times, but hit a couple of times. That's not much fun.
Three and 1. Two-run homer for Sean Rodriguez here in the 8th to give the Pirates this 5-1 lead. Cervelli pops this one up toward right fielder Jay Bruce. And we'll see if A.J. Schugel can get the last 3 outs here as we head to the 9th. 5-1 Bucks. skies from 6 a.m. Well, trying to do that. The colors here. With 3 more outs, the Pirates will have won their 6th straight. And A.J. Schugel makes his 7th appearance.
Yeah, take a look at the numbers. 2 walks, 10 strikeouts in his 10 innings of work. He has a save. He'll work the bottom part of the Cincinnati batting order. Liriano, Feliz, Watson, now Schugel. Trying for the second night to hold the Reds to 1 run.
Well, Archimedes Caminero tried to keep Melanson in the bullpen last night with a 4-0 lead. He got 2 outs, but then gave up a double to Tucker Barnhart that brought the run home. That made it a save situation. So Mark Melanson was called upon to get the 1-out save. Did so, his 6th.
94 miles an hour. Boy, those 2 extra runs off the bat of Sean Rodriguez feel good right now. He just never had the feel that this game was put away. Still don't, but you feel better.
Bruce 0 for 2 and has been hit by a pitch. A.J. Schugel picked up his first career save last Monday at Coors Field. 2 1/3 scoreless innings. Jeff Locke got the win. 6-1 Pirates. That came one night after Archimedes Caminero picked up his first career save. That is highly unusual. Schugel going to get there. Yep. One away.
PFP, pitcher's fielding practice.
4-1 Harrison to Schugel.
Get over there in case you're needed. Good start by AJ. Boy, when they're close like that, you're trying to find the ball and the bag at the same time, and he does it. A lot of that's the product of repetition.
Schugel will face Tucker Barnhart. Back-to-back saves that night. Caminero and Schugel, first career saves. Only 4 times since saves became official statistic in 1969 has that happened in Pirates history. Back in 1997, Ricardo Rincon picked up his first big league save on May the 1st. The next night, Rich Loisel. Before that, it was 1989, Bob Kipper and Randy Kramer. First time that occurred, 1969. Ronnie Klein and Bruce Dow Canton picked up their first career saves in back-to-back games. 3-0 now on Tucker Barnhart. This not a save situation yet.
Ronnie Klein, 1969. Well, that number 31 has been out on the mound in the 9th inning a lot of times for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Dave Justy wore it proudly and effectively for a long time.
1-out walk. Scott Schebler now is going to pinch hit. So Melanson gets up, and we will see him if Schebler reaches.
Nicely done as he backed away from the fastball there. Schebler out in front.
Imagine Schugel's dad is watching, a longtime scout and special assistant to Walt Jocketty in the Reds organization. Might not be here in Pittsburgh tonight, but a little mixed emotions. Dad watching his son pitch against his Reds team. 2-1.
What you want is strikes here. This at bat cannot beat you. We got the insurance we wanted.
Now even on Schebler, the pinch hitter.
Never easy, is it, Clint? It's never easy.
Bounce to Sean Rodriguez. There's one, and no. Schugel came over. I don't think they get him, even if Schugel lets it go through to Rodriguez. 2 down, and Billy Hamilton.
Okay, and that's okay. Just one an out of that. You don't have to get them both. Maybe a long shot to get them both. Sean decided to go for the force out. That would have been a situation where he took the sure out at first base. That would have been okay also. Pitchers always appreciate that.
Keep that run away.
Right, yeah, keep that run. Yeah, exactly.
Here's Billy Hamilton and these hardy souls, 34,810. Sticking with their buckos. And a pop-up to shallow left. And that drops in. Putting runners at first and second, and like last night, it looks like Mark Melancon will come on to try and get a 1-out save. Can you believe it? A pop-up.
Billy Hamilton, the last at bat, he dribbled the ball down the third baseline. He's not hit the ball solid since he drilled that ball in the 5th inning. 3 base hits for Hamilton, and what Clint did not want to do, he's doing.
Schugel walks Barnhart, and that costs him a chance to finish it. Gives up the bloop single. Mark Melancon will be coming on. Save situation. That's baseball. Mark Melancon.
Yep, you hope he can do what Feliz did. 1 pitch, 1 out. Put a lid on this thing.
Well, Melancon, what, 2 pitches last night to get the save? Asked him today about if he enjoys coming on for what some might call maybe not an easy save, but certainly easier than those nail biters with just a 1-run lead at times. And he kind of chuckled, said that it's like it's there for you on a silver platter if you can get that one out. But Zach Cozart will have something to say about it.
You know, silver platters have been dropped, bringing the main meal in sometimes.
Well, Melancon tries to get his 7th save, and this would be the 3rd time already this season that he would record a one-out save.
51 saves last year for Mark Melancon. About as good as it gets.
He faced Scott Schebler last night, got him to fly to right. And here's Cozart, came in third in the league in hitting. Mark the Shark looks for the save.
Step number one. A lot of raincoats standing up right now. They don't need them to keep dry. They're just hoping they'll keep them just a little bit warmer.
Two.
It's a very undecided swing. Jason pitches upstairs now. Try to go downstairs. Change the eye level.
Last night a 2-pitch save. Here's the third pitch. Raise the Jolly Roger.
1, 2, 3. Bang.
Mark Melancon saves it. Francisco Liriano wins it. The Bucks have won 6 straight games, 8 of their last 9 and 10 of their last 13. Home runs from John Jaso and Sean Rodriguez early and late. And the Bucks are now 8-3 against the Central, and they match their team record for wins in the month of April with 15.
Yep, and they got away from the wiffle ball format on the road and played a couple good ball games to start this homestand. Well done for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It took a while. They grounded out. It was never in the bag early, but a win's a win. Well done.
Chance to sweep it tomorrow. Wet here as we get ready for fireworks. Let's go back to the dry, warm studios. Paul and T.